me personally, when I talk or present anything Bigfoot, I'm not just talking about those who are already involved or believe or might even know. I have to be careful on how I present things. But when I do present things, I'm not just presenting to the general Bigfoot community. I like to present my side even to the skeptics that might be listening. Because if we're just preaching or talking or presenting to those who are already involved, sometimes that can be pointless or going against the grains. Not that I am forcing belief or trying to get anyone to believe, but only to consider the possibility of what we do know that does exist. A skeptic's approach will be, well, why haven't we found remains? Or a lot of times I'll be like, well, with the hunters that are out in the woods all the time, wouldn't they come across signs or see a Bigfoot? The answer is yes, they already have. And yes, they have come forward. Bear hunters, more specifically, I find to be very credible. I mean, these are guys and women that do hunt and have been doing this for most of their lives. Now, if they see something other than a bear, I'm pretty positive and I'm very sure that they could tell you, well, that was not a bear. They know how to identify a bear. For them to see a Bigfoot, wouldn't that stand apart? Or stand out, I should say? Law officers. I have spoken one-on-one with a law officer who has witnessed and seen a Bigfoot while on night patrol right in the state of Virginia. Law enforcement. They're trained to observe. There's other law officers in other states. Whitehall, New York, for example. So don't tell me these credible sources are not seeing things. They are. Some of them do come forward. Not always public, but they will come out and tell you because they get comfortable with you. There's a trust that gets developed. A lot of people have witnessed and seen things. A lot of other credible sources. But they're not going to come forward to the public because they have their reputation, out of fear of ridicule and mockery. I mean, why would people risk their reputation regardless of what they know they've seen? Because a lot of skeptics out there, and even non-believers, they don't understand. I mean, doctors, lawyers, law officers, and, again, bear hunters. These are people or individuals that know, they have a sane mind. The mentality is very clear and level. So you can't dismiss or rule out just because you haven't heard this information. There's a lot of hidden information from the public. So don't underestimate what just might be out there. Some of us know what's out there. But on another side of things, I will tell you, when I present things, I'm not presenting it to the general Bigfoot community because a lot of them are kind of stuck in their ways, regardless of how they see or believe what Bigfoot might be. I do a cross comparison with my conclusion of what Bigfoot might be. For example, I believe he's some unclassified, undiscovered primate of some sort. Yeah, people believe he's human. Scientifically speaking, me and you, as humans, we're considered human primates. So for a non-human primate, such as gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, and so forth, these are species that live among us in other parts of the world, but they're being discovered all the time. Small ones to big ones. 1996, the billy ape, a 400-pound large subspecies of chimpanzees were discovered. Later on, more marginally, in 2017, the Tapanelli orangutan. So there was only 2 species of orangutan that scientists only knew about. And then when they made the discovery of the Tapanelli orangutan, it left them baffled, scratching their head, questioning the logic. Like, where have these been all these years? I mean, these are primatologists and scientists that are out in the field studying, observing, researching. But yet, these discoveries are still happening. There's thousands of eyewitnesses to the Bigfoot phenomenon. So, just because you haven't heard your friend or somebody you know come forward, they fear for their reputation. They don't want you to mock them. They don't want to be ridiculed. So why would they come out? They have every right to remain silent. But people like me, I want people to develop a form of comfort and trust. And I have. People have come forward to me and shared their sightings because they know who I am. Yes, I take a very objective approach, and I look at everything with a grain of salt, but I will not dismiss anything. I want people to come forward. Now, I have spoken to some very credible witnesses, bear hunters, and even a law officer here in Virginia. These are people that know their species, people that are trained to observe and witness what they're seeing. So, again, don't underestimate what's out there. Just because you don't believe and your mind's blocked from comprehending that possibility. Open your minds. I'm not trying to force you to believe anything. I'm just trying to get you to consider where I'm coming from. I compare the non-human primates to with Bigfoot for various purposes. For example, their behaviors, their diets, their vocals. There's a lot of very similar characteristics and behaviors and diets that our non-human primates have been observed or witnessed doing compared to what we point fingers at and give Bigfoot credit for. Non-human primates and Bigfoot, they have this close, very, very close, common list of characteristics and behaviors. If you take the time to look at everything that's claimed or witnessed from a Bigfoot eyewitness, to what they seen, what they heard, well, look at the non-human primates. You'll find the same things. So hopefully you understand what I'm coming from here, where I'm coming from, and what I'm pointing out and trying to present. I know to many of you this ain't gonna make sense at all. Very few will understand, but all I can do is try and share my 2 cents. So just consider that possibility.